Welcome back to Bergisch land, folks. We are over at the sawmill and we have a little bit of tidying up to do. The empty pallet spawn point is full, so we're just going to move a few of those out of the way so that that can keep working. We'll just store them here next to the whatever this entrance exit is. Health and safety aren't watching. To be fair, that looks a bit of a mess in there anyway. But we'll just make a little bit of space for these, and then today we are going to be doing a lot of mowing. Say a lot of mowing. We're going to be mowing as many of the grass fields that we have as we can before it gets too dark to work, and getting them in the bunker, because the weather for the next few days is not awesome. So I would like to get that done so that while the weather's bad for the next few days, we can be doing some field work that we can get away with doing when the weather's not so nice. Basically, you want to get those fields mown so that we can get the silage in the bunker, and then we can get the BGA going over the winter to make some digestate so that we can fertilise our fields to go with the slurry that we have from the cows. I'm not sure how much slurry we have. We will have a look in a little while. Might as well top that up, and we'll grab the beams while we're over here. I think the sawmill is out of wood now, so we do need to do another session up in the forest to produce some more logs to feed into the mill. We also need to come up here with a trailer and have a selling day, because we have a fair bit of product to sell. So we have those empty pallets, we have the wrapped boards, and then if we go over to the sawmill, yeah, it's stopped, I think. So yeah, there's no wood left. We've got 8,500 litres of wood chips. The bark mulch we will sell, and the products from the other bits around the sawmill we will sell. So we need to bring a bucket up and a trailer to take the wood chip back. We need the same bucket and trailer to sell the bark mulch, and then one of the flatbed trailers to get rid of the other products. Let's head back to the farm, and we are all set up ready to start mowing, so I will see you back there in a second. Mike. But just pulling back into the farm, I think we need to give this fence a quick wash. To be honest, it's looking pretty disgusting. Stupidly, I forgot to leave the big bag lifter down at the sawmill, so we'll have to make sure we take that back with us next time. We have about 7 grass fields to mow today. We need to get them mown, and someone's parked a truck in the way. It's very annoying. We need to get them mown, windrowed, and then we're going to break out the Jaguar, the glass Jaguar forage wagon, or forage harvester, not forage wagon, and see if we can get auto drive running with that to fill the bunker up that's next to the BGA, because then it will be easier for getting that fed into the BGA once it's fermented. Just get this guy a little bit cleaner. Surprising how quickly it's got so dirty. I guess it did all of the carrot harvesting. So I've got potatoes on my mind, because once I've done this, the next video I will be working on is a potato planting video on West Texas. But for right now, we are making silage. I will just park this guy in here. I'm looking forward to running this rig as well at some point. I don't think we have any fields that need ploughing, but I'm going to plough some fields with it. So we have this bunker that we're going to fill with grass. I've got auto drive set up to cart from each of the fields to the bunker. And we've got the JCB with the mowers on, and we've got the Fendt 300 with the windrower on. Going to be a combination of me doing things and Courseplay doing things, I think. I do like the grass texture on here. Now we have a whole load of headland areas that we could be mowing, but I don't think we need to. I think it helps if you turn the mower on, I find. With 7 fields to mow, I think we've probably got enough. It looks like we need to put some fuel in the fast track as well. So yeah, this is going to be our fertilizer for our fields. Hopefully it will produce enough. I think we have enough bales of silage put away to feed the cows and the sheep over winter before we can start making some silage in the spring for them. But this is for our crops. We'll obviously need it to fertilise our grass fields as well, probably. I suspect we may end up having to buy in some manure, either putting in a manure buy point or using the pallets of manure that I use quite often, because we're going to have a lot of fertilising to do, I think, being first year and no idea what state the various fields are in. Let's get that going. And the auto width has worked. Awesome. So yeah, I think we may have to buy manure in through the winter to get the fields fertilised. I don't actually have a manure spreader yet, so we may have to lease one, I think. Probably won't be able to afford to buy something like that just yet. But I think we'll probably lease one and see if one of the other local farmers has got an excess of manure we can use. Actually, let's just have a look while I'm chatting. So we've got 60,000 litres of slurry. We do have 40,000 litres of manure, but I was planning to feed that into the BGA. Maybe we should be sensible and use that to fertilise as well, depending on how much grass we get to feed into the BGA. I do like this mower setup, and I've had one piece of positive feedback on this style of video, so that means everyone liked it, right? So it works quite well for me. It's been slightly frustrated because I haven't been able to record this intro piece, but I've had a whole load of videos queued up ready to edit and stuff, and I haven't been able to record any new footage. So I've actually been playing some other games, which has been kind of cool. But when you're struggling to produce enough or play enough to get content out, that's it's not great. If you're a regular watcher, I can't remember which video I mentioned it in, the operation that my dad was due to have on his neck/spine was supposed to be today and has been moved by 2 weeks, which is really frustrating. So yeah, the content will be as normal this week, and then in 2 weeks time it might be less, which is frustratingly, this is going to sound really bad, it's FS22 week, and his operation is on the Monday that FS22 releases, so you may not see much FS22 content from me at release. So this, yeah, I've been recording a bunch of stuff today. What I said in the previous one, it might have been the previous Bergisch video, was that my initial FS22 content will not be Let's Plays, because I need to learn how to play the game. Some of them will be a bit clickbaity. If you're a regular viewer, just persevere, ignore them if you don't like them. And then once I've learned how to play with the bits that I like, so the animals and things, I'll start doing tutorials on the different aspects of the animals, if I can, on while we wait for Terra Life and Maize Plus, on creating some of that functionality if it's possible, doing simple things like I've done on West Texas, where I've edited the TMR mix-up. So that's the first field mow. Just get that folded up. and we'll head off to the next field. That didn't take very long. So we have 52, 45, 42. We've done 43 and 51 already. So we need to do 40, which is a pretty big field, and we need to do 50. So I'll probably go and do these 3 at the top and then work my way down. We have quite a lot of land as well to plant. So I've got a crop rotation that I've set up. Which I need to look at again actually, but we're basically going to be doing oats, carrots. I want to try and get poplar in for the wood chips, maybe rye, potatoes, soybeans. I need to get sugar beet in there somewhere. Should have sugar beet in there. I wonder if that's supposed to be sugar beet. That's supposed to be sugar beet. Yes, I'm going to be running 2 rotations basically. There's this big one, and then because potatoes wreck stuff, I'm going to be alternating potatoes and canola on a couple of fields, and I think we have enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 crops, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fields. Wow, perfect. Okay, I think we'll probably jump into the time-lapse bit of the video now, so I'll be back talking to you in a second. So getting course plate set up to run the mowers for us, it doesn't really detect the width very well, so kind of guessing at our total width and shifting it about a bit, and that actually ends up working pretty well. I'm doing spiral mode because of the style of mower that we're using. I think it's probably the most realistic. And while courseplay does that, I'm going to windrow up the field that we just cut. So as I've probably just said, this is all to go in the BGA ultimately, because we're desperate for fertilizer. I've just recorded the next episode of this, and the field scans are not great. They are not great at all. The other thing is I should always do more than one headland. Something that I'm really bad at remembering when I'm windrowing. And for the windrow it's probably fine, but when we've got the forage harvester and a couple of carting tractors following it, having a bit more room with headlands, it's probably a good idea. So that's this one, windrow. We're going to work on getting a bunch of the fields mowed. For some reason I decided to windrow this bit of straw that we've had sitting about since very early on. I'm hoping the rain will get rid of it at some point, otherwise I'm going to have to get the baler out. Try and bale it up because it's just bugging me. Or we'll maybe bring the cultivator over and cultivate it in. So on to the next field, field 42 with the mower. This one has a weird island in the middle, so I'm going to do this. And I had courseplay windrowing the field that courseplay just mowed. Some of the islands on this map are not properly defined, so later on I go around and use the terrain painting tool to draw grass around the edge of them, because that helps courseplay. So courseplay struggled to windrow this field because of that same problem, so I ended up taking over the windrowing, which is why it's done slightly weirdly. For windrowing, particularly if you want to bale a field, if you're using courseplay, it's better to put it on up-down rows first. That way courseplay can bale the field for you, and that's what I was doing on here, although I'm not going to bale this, it's just kind of natural. And so I ended up doing the up-down rows and then doing the headlands. So we've just had a leveler delivered. I'm going to start breaking out the forage harvester to get this stuff in the pit before it gets too dark. So setting up the big fen to compact for us, or to level for us and push back. And we're going to get the Jaguar out to start doing some chopping. Start getting this grass in the bunker. Got the Deutz and the Fendt 7 Series lined up to cart for us. I can never remember, it's a 720 I think. So we'll see how this goes. I'm hoping that 2 trailers is enough to handle keeping up with the forage harvester, to have a bit of fun with the headland and the fence and the signs. First trailer full, and it's off on auto drive to the bunker. So what I've done is I've set up to drive past the bunker and go far enough forwards that the trailer should be straight, and then back in and tip. Auto drive does this really well actually. Seem to have a nice setup on here, and then we'll just get this pushing back. So I think the idea is with on this mode is that it will push the chaff to the back of the bunker, so we can keep bringing in the tractors to tip. Watch out for the sign there, destroying our own farm advertising. Weirdly, these are public roads, well, they're set up as public roads, which I find quite strange because they pretty much just run through our farm. So the auto drive there was trying to pre-call the second tractor. These fields are so small that auto drive struggles a little bit, I think. It's just how it is. There's not a lot of room to fit a forage harvester and two fairly big tractors on the map, on the field. When I do this again, I will probably use smaller tractors. I do get so that I get into a much better rhythm of understanding how to maneuver the forage harvester to control the carters, but it takes me a few fields. That bit you just saw with JCB was what I was saying about the islands not being defined very well. So yeah, in this kind of situation, A, a bit of patience, and B, turning differently, and you'll see it later on as to how you kind of better to slow down as you go into the turns, and that allows auto drive to almost anticipate it a little bit. So first field cleared pretty much. Let's get this little bit. Again, auto drive is just being a bit strange. I've watched other people use auto drive for doing this sort of thing, and they don't seem to have the issues that I have with the carters getting into place. Generally, they're using course plate as well as auto drive, so maybe it's that. I'm just going to empty this part trailer before we get on to the next field, and you can see the course plate has pushed all of that chaff to the back of the silo, or silage grass. Because we're on Maize Plus, so it's at this point it becomes silage grass to turn into grass silage. So in the field now with the weird headland or island that we struggled with the windrowing. I've slowed down time now. I've done that because basically I'm going to run this until I'm done, but I want to be able to video some of it, and if I left it on ×3 I would probably be going till way past midnight, which I think a farmer would really do because there's rain forecast tomorrow and we need to get this in bunker. So it's more about it being light enough to record video still rather than managing the time, because if it's pitch black it's pointless me trying to record it. So I've probably said it many times, I do love playing on this map. It's a really nice map. I am struggling with some of the sell points with the language barrier, so I've just been looking to try and see if there are any lime or manure sell points on here. I found 2 lime sell points, but I had to go and open up the mod into the XML to find that, which is a bit painful. I don't think there's a manure buy point on here. We need a lot of fertilizer. But yeah, this setup seems to be working quite well. We are getting to the point where we could probably do with a third carter. As the fields get slightly further away from the bunker, I'm having to wait a little while for the carters to get back. Not the end of the world, but probably for next silage season we'll buy a third trailer to run, which means I can't use all small tractors to run them, because it probably I would look at using the JCB and the smaller Fendt. They should be able to handle these trailers. They're decent power. So I was using these two because the JCB and the little Fendt 300 were still mowing and windrowing a long way through this. They're no longer mowing and windrowing. We managed to get it all done, but well, I say they're no longer. Someone forgot to windrow the next field. He's an idiot, basically. So I need to move everything out of the way and just windrow this little field. We've also got this empty cow pen up here, which at some point we will get some cows to put in. Don't know whether to maybe do a little beef herd or get some more dairy cows and just store them in there until they are mature enough to calf. From my experiment on Oak Hill, if you're going to do beef, you need to be going big and in the many hundreds of cows to make a decent income. So we might go get a few more dairy cows to grow on. I know we don't get manure from that pen, but I can't remember if we can get milk out of it as well. So this is a classic example of the field not being big enough for all of the kit we have in here. It would probably been sensible to only have one of them set to cart. What I found when you get into this situation is it's much easier to manually position the carter and get him in roughly the right place, and often that will be better. I normally hate the click on to select vehicle as part of auto drive and course play, but actually for doing this it was brilliant because I could click on the carting tractor with the mouse, so you jump straight to it, reposition it, hit go on auto drive again, and then click back on the forage harvester and be straight back in that, so there's a lot less tabbing. But yeah, the kind of interior corners are not great with auto drive. So onto one of our bigger fields, and I think at this point I've learned a bit more about controlling auto drive. So you can see I'm trying to keep the carter on the outside of the turns and just slowing down on the turns, and when a trailer empties, I found if you back up a bit away from your swath and then you can slowly move forwards, and that encourages the carter to come to you. You can see this is working much better than some of the other stuff that we've done. I did another 2 fields, but it's getting pretty late and dark, so got all that in the bunker, putting some lights in so we can see for compacting the bunker. I had course plate on the wrong mode at one point and set it to leveling, and it's actually pushed a couple 100,000 litres of grass out the back of the bunker. So I'm putting some lights in, and I'm going to manually use the leveler to push all this back in, get those tyres out of the way. This is going to take me a bit of time, so I'll do most of it off camera. I'll get it leveled and compacted, and I'll get back to you. So all compacted, nice level chaff pile. I'll catch you next time, folks.